Cool. So we now need to update our cart with a real product versus how it currently is. And notice that I have it where it's toggling it, right? So if you click on the button one time, it's going to add it. If you click on it another time, it's going to remove it. This is not the only way to do this. You could have other methods of this, and we'll actually show you the methods that we may end up using in the end. But for now, we're going to keep it as this so we can solve this problem first. Now, something you should note is this cart update view actually is considered an endpoint. So there's this endpoint here that now exists that we can use inside of a form. What does that mean exactly? Well, going back into our product detail slug view where our products are located, we could actually handle the form data here, right? We could handle all of the view related stuff in this product detail view, but I'm not going to do that. I actually want to have this handled elsewhere. That is, I actually want it handled inside of the cart app itself, inside of this cart view. It's a big part of the reason I have this redirect here, not an actual rendering. I did that so we get in the habit of thinking of this as like, hey, there's going to be some action that's performed on this view, and then we're going to redirect something, right? That's it. So in the case of adding our product, it's going to redirect us to our cart. So when I click on add to cart, it's going to bring us into that cart. And when I click on remove from cart, it's going to bring us back into that cart. That's kind of the concept that's going on here. And since we created this view and it is considered an endpoint, we can use this endpoint in our form. Now, if you look back or think back to our search method, right? If we go into a search, we look at our search form, we did this exact thing with this action here, right? But we did it with a different method. We used get. So we actually don't want to use get anymore. We want to use, hopefully you know what it is, but it's going to be a post method. So I'm going to copy or at least emulate this same idea with our search form with our product add to product form. Now I can add it inside of my products or I can add it into my cart. So where does this make the most sense to add it? Well, I think it makes the most sense to add it in the products portion. The reason for that, because this template has a lot more to do with the product itself, or the design of this template has more to do with the product itself than the endpoint. So that's why I'm going to put it inside of this products. And I'm going to make a new file here, and I'll just say add to cart.html, or really it's kind of more like update cart. So let's just leave it as update cart, much like the actual view name itself. I'm going to go ahead and copy this entire search form and bring it into update cart. We'll save this, and I'm going to close out that search form. So now I have to think about the things that need to be in here. So let's look at that product detail view again. And the first thing is maybe I want to have the cart object as well as the product object inside of there. And that's actually what I want. I want to have the cart and product object in this form. So I'm going to start off with include, and we're going to include the products. Oops, let's do this. Products / snippet / update cart.html with, and I'm going to go ahead and say product equals to object and the cart equals to the cart. So again, this is going off of this cart right here, which we added in as context into this product detail. Okay, so now that we've got that, going back into this detail, I have my two objects in there, and it's product and cart. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, bring it into that update cart, and this is going to be based off of that button. So I might want this to be different. I'm probably going to want this to actually be rendered differently than we did for the search bar. Like, I don't need text in there at all. I just pretty much just need buttons. So I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of that whole thing. Okay, so if now product in cart, no longer object, but product, we're going to go ahead and do in cart, remove, and so on. And now the button class, the type is going to be submit, because we want to submit this form once it's complete. The next thing is we want to change our method to post, and then our action is going to the cart update view, right? So hopefully you know exactly how to do that. If not, maybe go back and take a look. And I'm also going to get rid of the margin related stuff and just keep it in the form class. Okay, so now we've got this. I have to add another portion to here, and I'll do input type equals to hidden, and we'll give it a name of product and a value of, well, we're going to do product.id. So this is giving us the ability to say, hey, part of this form is going to be hidden, and that part that's going to be hidden is going to be related to our product ID. I'm just calling it product. You might actually call it product ID like this, so it's even more verbose when we end up using it. But now I've got my form data. It's actually there. It's pretty much ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and save that, and I'm going to save the product detail view now with our new include method here. And the next thing is I'm going to go into my view for the cart update, and I'm just going to go ahead and print request.post. Okay, so I'm going to save that, and we're going to refresh, go to our products, go to view. I get this issue here. I probably have some spelling thing here. So it says product snippet update cart. It's probably product snippets with a little s, and yep, that's what it is. Products snippets. Little details like that will catch you all the time. So it's really good to not go too far ahead in your logic without testing things. That's why we break these up into little videos too. Okay, so we refresh and now it's there. I can click on add to cart, and then I get this CSRF token failed. I'll explain this in just a moment, but notice that it's going to cart update. It's actually going to that endpoint. Now, the reason you're seeing this has to do with security. It's a built-in security feature that Django has called cross-site request forgery. So all we have to do is do CSRF_token and have that in here. It's only true for post method, or maybe not only true for post method, but it's true for post method. It is not true for the get method. Post method typically means that you're going to be changing stuff in the database. In this case, we are changing stuff. It's not user generated stuff in the sense that the product ID is actually not from the user. It's us. We're designing it. But when the user hits it, it goes to the database. So I'm leaving it in as a post method as well. There's another reason for this too, is that we don't want anyone to be able to just kind of play around with how products are added by how a get method possibly could be. Okay, so there's that. Now we've got this in here. So let's go back to our product, refresh, hit add to cart. I'm redirected to the cart, right? So why did that happen? Well, hopefully you know, and that's because in the cart update view, it redirects us to that cart. If I redirected it back to the product object, it would go back to product ID of 1. Okay, so if we go in our terminal, let's go ahead and take a look at the requested post data. Here it is. We've got a product ID there of 1. Well, let's try a different product. So hat, I'll go to hat, add to cart, terminal, product ID of 3. Cool. So we now have the ability to actually get that product ID really simply with request.post.get, and we called it product ID. We can verify that by seeing what's coming through on our post data there. Okay, so the big part here is I want to say make sure if the product ID is not none. Like I want to make sure that that is actually coming through, right? So product ID is not none. Then I can run through this stuff here. Now, I know for sure that this product is going to exist because of how this works, right? So it's how it's listed. But there's a chance that this might not exist. So I'm going to add a try block to show you what you might end up doing. So except product.does not exist. So this is the product does not exist exception error. I could just return the cart object here, and I could eventually have a message that's shown to the user, which we're not going to do, but we'll just say show message to user, product is gone. Okay. So that is how you would handle that exception. So this is meaning like if I did product ID, let's say for instance, I did ID of 100 as the default, I don't have 100 products on here. So this would raise that product does not exist exception. So how this works is it's taking the model name and then just dot does not exist. That's it. Using a get call in particular. There are other exceptions. So if you have questions about that, let us know. And then I'm just going to redirect them to the cart. So I'm not actually updating the cart. I'm just taking them to the cart saying, hey, I don't know what you're trying to do here, but either way, it's still handling what potential error may happen in your product. We'll see this in just a moment though, too. I want to show you that this will actually work. Okay, so now let's go to our product, go to Lorem Ipsum, and I'll hit add to cart. No errors happen. This is good. So if I refresh in here, I actually see that that's showing up. Now, this is going to make a lot more sense if I can actually see the cart or the products in the cart. So let's stop now, and in the next one, we'll kind of do some design for the cart and then even be able to update the products in the cart as well. So stay with us.